Today on Fresno State Focus, we'll tell you why there's a hold on contract negotiations between ASI and KFSR.
Also, we'll learn why some lucky Fresno State students travel to Orlando, Florida.
Plus, we'll show you a few famous Bulldogs who have made it big in the NFL.
Fresno State Focus starts now. Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Jonathan Roque.
And I'm Ciclalio Ocampo. All 23 CSU campuses are threatening to go on strike at the end of next month. Today, members of the California Faculty Association, also known as CFA, held a news conference call. CFA says they want a 5% raise for faculty members. However, CSU is only offering 2%. If members of CSU and CFA do not reach an agreement, CSU faculty may go on strike. A strike vote will be held from October 9th through the 28th. Voting will be available online and in person at the universities. Fresno State students are in shock after hearing about a murder that has one of their classmates possibly facing the death penalty. The LA Times reported Tuesday that prosecutors have charged Fresno State junior Albert Medina and UCLA senior Eric Martez with the murder of UCLA student Audrea Del Vesco. The newspaper also released a statement by Deputy District Attorney Victor Avila saying the surveillance video captured Medina wearing a snuggie belonging to Del Vesco, covering the blood on his shirt. Avila also told the judge that Del Vesco's property was later recovered at Medina's home in Fresno. Marquez's bail is set at $1 million, and Medina was ordered to stay in jail until their next court hearing on October 22nd.
Fresno State starting quarterback Zach Greenlee has finished his one-game suspension and will be back on the field this Saturday starting against San Diego State. Police arrested Greenlee, Brandon Hughes, and women's soccer player Fanny Johansson after the Utah game. Greenlee on charges of underage drinking, Hughes for not obeying a police officer, and Johansson on charges of public intoxication and resisting arrest. Both Hughes and Johansson also have completed their one-game suspensions.
ASI's contract with campus radio station KFSR is still up in the air. The issue? What type of music the station will play. Right now, KFSR plays jazz, blues, country, and reggae. However, that's not what ASI wants to hear. ASI says Fresno State students don't listen to KFSR. That's why they rejected their $8,000 contract proposal. Fresno State student Joseph Castellon has a show on KFSR. He says students are listening, but their voices aren't being heard.
I have people who don't even like music, don't even want anything to do with radio, who are coming to me on a daily basis. I listen to your show because you're a student.
What? During ASI's meeting last week, members heard KFSR's plans to increase student involvement. KFSR is in the process of writing a new contract proposal. The Department of Mass Communication and Journalism plans to introduce a radio news writing course with the hopes of putting more students on air.
Last November, Fresno State alum Devin Mathis was elected to represent California's 26th Assembly District, which serves Tulare and parts of Kern County. A war veteran and a Purple Heart recipient, he is here to talk with us about issues in the Valley. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Yeah,
we really
thank
appreciate
you.
it. Yeah, so your slogan is people over politics. What does that mean?
Well, a lot of times politics becomes an issue. People, you've got Democrats, you've got Republicans, and when I was running, I used to go, I never once went to work and said, hey, are you a Democrat or a Republican? Because there's a job to do. And so in Sacramento, I went up there with that attitude of let's just go get things done. And we've gotten a lot done. I mean, for a freshman, it was kind of surprising because you always hear, oh, Sacramento's controlled by Democrats. And for those of you guys that are listening at home, I mean, it's you get in this partisan stuff, and I mean, it's the pro-life, pro-choice, I mean, 101 things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, a lot of people go, you know, oh, I don't like politics. And I go, why? You know, why? Well, there's all this different stuff. And I'm like, well, do you understand politics is everything you deal with? And they go, well, what do you mean? I go, well, what's your definition of politics? And the best definition of politics is it's using communication to get what one wants. We do it in everything we do. We do it with all our friends. You know, hey, are we going to go hang out here? Are we going to go do this? Are we going to get Taco Bell or Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
You sway and you use your influence to get what you ultimately want to work for and what you want to get. And so the biggest issues, obviously, in our area in the Valley have been water-based.
Yeah.
And
So recently you secured 100,000 water bottles for Porterville residents. What does that mean to solve the long-term issue?
Well, that is just a small piece. I mean, that's obviously bottled water isn't the answer to state water management. And long-term issue is, you know, having a solid groundwater recharge program for the state, which currently the state doesn't define groundwater recharge as a vital use of water.
Yeah,
It's kind of a problem when everybody's wells are going dry.
exactly. So, well, thank you so much for being here with us. I know these are big issues, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
So we've been talking with Assemblymember Devin Mathis of California's 26th District.
Put on your eating pants because downtown is a place to be during your lunch break. Carr brings family-owned food trucks together from around the valley. One popular food truck called Am Fresno is owned by Leah Bays. Her all-organic business uses creative ingredients, making it hard to notice you're eating a vegan meal.
Just taste it because our Caribbean taco, it tastes like real meat. The meat is sunflower seeds and carrots blended together in a taco seasoning, but it tastes like meat.
Cart Hop is held at Fresno's Fulton Mall every Thursday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Vendors now accept credit cards as a form of payment.
Central Valley's car fanatics made their way to Old Town Clovis last weekend. The reason? To celebrate the 13th annual British Car Roundup. Fresno State Focus reporter Andrew Worth found out how much preparation and care these owners put into their cars.
Look, the oil's clean.
Martin Connolly is one of those fanatics who participated in this year's roundup. His car of choice? A 1972 Austin Mini. For Connolly, these cars are more than just a hobby. They bring back memories.
They remind me a lot of growing up. All the sights and the sounds of the cars.
But Connolly isn't the only one who has fond memories of these cars. Dennis Davy first got his start working on these antique roadsters when he was in the military and is once again a proud owner.
Ever since, kind of always wanted something back, so I decided to buy this MGB. I've had it now for about 4 years.
Roundup coordinator Kurt Lance says, unlike newer cars where we just get in and go, these cars take a great amount of care and maintenance.
No question about it, you're going to check your fluid levels. So you're going to check your brake fluid, your antifreeze, water level in your radiator cooling system.
Connolly has been working to maintain cars like his Mini for the past 10 years. He says it has given him something to study, learn, and enjoy.
These cars have character, they have a personality, okay? And every car is a little bit different. Okay, there's a certain procedure just for starting the car, and there's a certain warm-up thing you gotta do.
Sunday's event drew a decent crowd with contestants showing off their rides along Woodworth Avenue. One of the cars that got a lot of attention was this 1953 Singer 4AD. Mark Cunningham is a veteran attendee and was impressed with the lineup of cars.
Just to come out and see the cars lined up and see the different work people put into them and check out a couple of my friends' cars that are here and see how they did in the show. And
I got to speak with a few of this year's participants who say they've been preserving these cars for many years. And while many came to spectate, only a few got to ride along in one of these foreign Furies. Andrew Worth, Fresno State Focus.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus, find out how the art department is attracting attention on campus.
Cooler temperatures are headed our way for this fall season. All that and more when we come back.
I can't wait to sell cookies and make new friends.
Hi, would you like to buy Girl Scout cookies?
How much are they?
$5.
Ooh.
My favorite are the Thin Mints. They are delicious when they are frozen.
I can't wait to have fun trying new things.
And make our city a better place.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
I can't wait to be a Girl Scout.
To feel like fall this season. I'm not sure if you guys have been outside, but it's cloudy and the weather is getting a little cooler. You see here some activity on the west coast, but definitely a lot of activity over here on the east coast. There was a typhoon last night that turned into a hurricane this morning. Hurricane Joaquin created some activity on that east coast. Taking a closer look at the west coast here in the Central Valley, some of this cloud coverage over here is because of the low pressure system that's happening along this coastline. Now that could potentially bring some thunderstorms and showers for tomorrow. It's also bringing down the average temperature to about 10 degrees lower than normal. Speaking of that cooler temperature along here, here are some of today's highs. In the South Valley, 87 and 86. In the Mid Valley, Fresno and Madera, 81 and 82. Moving on to our air quality. It's definitely been very good considering all the fires that we've had up in our mountains. Good in Merced in Merced and Stanislaus, and moderate in Madera, Fresno, Kings, Tulare, and Kern counties. Today, though, our Fresno State focus forecast, it's 82 degrees right now, and the winds are very calm, coming from the west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and there's relative humidity at 38%. Moving on to our Fresno State 7-day forecast. Like I said today, it's cloudy, high of 84 degrees. Tomorrow, I did mention AM thunderstorms, and that's because of that low pressure system moving in. But you can expect lots of sunshine for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with a high of 79, perfect for to end your weekend. Moving into your work week and your school week, mostly sunny and those low 82s and 83s. On to entertainment with Angelica.
Thanks, Danielle. Well, fall is certainly in the air, and that means hot air balloons for the Central Valley. The 41st annual Clovis Fest and Hot Air Balloon Fun Fly Festival kicked off the fall season. The two-day event had thousands of festival goers up bright and early to watch as the several hot air balloons prepped to take off across the valley skies. Families brought out blankets and lawn chairs and enjoyed hot chocolate as they relished in the fall traditions. And Bulldog spirit was certainly in the air as families enjoyed taking pictures with the blimp just before it took off. And if you missed any of the action, well, there's always next year. And artists gathered at Fresno State to enrich students and bring attention to the art department. Gilbert Maguillon tells us just what this event was all about.
A still life in ceramics brought together the work of 5 contemporary Bay Area artists, each with their own unique style and message.
I want them to feel like they've had an experience where their imagination is allowed to sort of be a part of the experience. And essentially, I want my work to be provocative.
Nancy Selvin, one of the featured artists, gave advice to students going into the field.
Get up every morning, go in your studio, work every day. All day. It's a job. You have to make work.
Even though it's visual, Jerome Chang, teaching associate at Fresno State, says the art tells a story just like a book.
Vocabulary isn't just with written words. It's with images. It's with paintings. It's with three-dimensional art.
The event was coordinated by ceramics professor Una Mayurka in hopes of teaching people different things through the use of art.
Our mission is to bring arts not only to our students but also to the local community.
For many artists, the art department is a key to their success. It helps them mold their future.
just like this piece of clay.
Majorca says she hopes that events like this one will continue to strengthen the bonds between campus and community.
I think that definitely we are a strong presence, and I hope we continue to make that bridge between the university campus and our community.
Chang says that the art department plays a big role on campus and needs more recognition.
You know, the art department is just as important as agriculture, as business, as the sciences, and as the football team.
The Conley Art Gallery will hold its next exhibit, Entering the Circle, Journey of a Shamanic Artist, from September 28th to October 5th. Gilbert Magallone, Fresno State Focus.
Continuing with the arts, Fresno State's theater department is performing its first production of the season called Yellow Man. The production, told through recollections of the past, takes you on a journey of a young man and his struggles from childhood to adulthood and the issues he has with his dysfunctional family. The time period is set in rural South Carolina to the streets of the 1970s in New York City. Actor Joshua Slack takes on 5 roles in the play and tells us what he's looking forward to most.
I like to see that there are these human characters that are in this production and to see exactly how it plays out. And so just being being multiple characters in this is very exciting.
The production examines race, colorism, gender, and sexual abuse and is intended for mature audiences because of the explicit language. The play opens this weekend, October 2nd, and runs through the 10th. Tickets are available at the box office. And if you're into music, then this is an artist you might want to watch out for. Local up-and-coming R&B artist Brian Cade surprised the crowd with an impromptu performance at Fresno State's open mic night at the USU Pit. Cade said he always tries to support other local artists and is excited for the new opportunities coming his way.
I'm actually working on a new project. I'm working on an EP that I will be releasing at the end of the year. I'm actually going to Los Angeles this weekend to record my single, so I'm really excited about that. Yeah, right.
Cade's next performance will be at Art Hop on October 1st at the Black Box Theater in the Tower District. Make sure to tune in next week to get an in-depth interview with this artist. And that's it for entertainment news. Back to you, Siklali and Jonathan.
Thank you so much, Angelica.
Thank you.
A walk to end Alzheimer's took place at Fresno State.
Organizers hope to raise awareness and enough money to help support patients' families. Fresno State reporter Janet Zaragoza has a story.
And together, we will stop this disease.
Alzheimer's affects more than 44 million people and their families all over the world.
Our goal is $300,000, and as of this morning, we were only $21,000 away from meeting our goal. So I know this morning we're going to exceed it.
Proceeds go toward care, support, and research through the Alzheimer's Association. Todd Howe lost his father, Clifford Howe, to Alzheimer's. He's doing his part to give back by organizing this event in his dad's memory.
Dad was a real people person. He loved life. He was a very active individual. When he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, it was devastating. It was something that we didn't know a lot about.
Howe says he and his family felt isolated, unaware that there was support for people with the disease, until he learned about the Alzheimer's Association.
His daughter Kirsten Howe says they created a walk group called Handsome Howe in memory of her grandfather.
My team's grown to about 90 members, and we just all get together, do fundraising activities together, and all come out and support and walk to end Alzheimer's.
The Handsome Howe team raised the most funds at the walk, about $38,000. Event volunteer Ben Phillips says Alzheimer's doesn't only strike the elderly.
If you have a brain, you're at risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. So this is something that's very real, and it's very fulfilling to be able to see all these people that are joined in a similar cause.
Phillips says that as a volunteer, he is really interested in finding a cure and helping people get support and all resources that are available to them.
The Alzheimer's Association helps and supports many families out in the community. They want them to know they're not alone. This is Janet Zaragoza reporting for Fresno State Focus.
This November marks the 1-year anniversary of the Fresno State Student Cupboard. The cupboard provides students with basic food and hygiene products at no cost. With us today is project coordinator Jessica Medina. Thanks for being here.
Of course, thank you for having me.
So since its opening a year ago, what has changed?
Oh my gosh, well, we have just grown tremendously. We are serving so many students. In the first 2 weeks of classes, we had about 800 students coming through. I pulled our numbers for September and we're over 3,000 students. So we've really just absolutely grown. We've moved to a new location. We're now in Industrial Technology, room 144. The space is about 20 times larger than we had before. We have refrigerators, freezer space, and a lot more food on our shelves.
And the other day I walked in and I talked to Brenda, one of the workers there, and she said, you guys are making changes to accommodate all the students that are coming in. What are some of those changes?
We are, because we're serving so many students, we're really trying to make sure we have enough variety and food on our shelves throughout the entire week. So we're trying to make sure that we set aside food throughout the week, but we're also looking for additional opportunities to provide students with food. One of the things we're hoping to start launching in October is a parking lot distribution that will take place on the third Friday of every month, where we'll be doing about 25 to 35 pallets of food of distribution for our students. So some of those types of things, and then hopefully some additional fundraisers. We have the Big Fresno Fair that we're launching a campaign tomorrow to be able to give away free fair tickets as well for everyone who brings in 5 cans. So we have a lot of great things coming.
Wow, that's really exciting. And what are you most excited about that is coming up with the cupboard?
You know, I think just everything, the expansion of the space, I think the amount of students that we're serving, I think the growth has been just a really tremendous experience to be able to see so many students who are being served. We're getting closer to knowing that we're actually serving the population that's out there of students in need. So the support on campus, the support off campus, it's all really been really wonderful.
That's so great, and thank you for being here.
Of course.
We've been talking with Jessica Medina, the project coordinator for the Fresno State Student Cupboard.
The Excellence in Journalism Conference, also known as EIJ, is said to be the journalism event of the year. Reporter Fabiola Ramirez traveled with a group of 16 Fresno State students to this year's conference in Orlando, Florida.
So hey everyone, we're here.
The conference provided journalists with the industry's best training and networking opportunities. Broadcast journalism senior Angelica Leilani experienced the conference from a different perspective.
I went into it not knowing what I was going to expect because I was interning through SPJ with EIJ, and that was publishing their news and going around the conference. So it's journalists covering journalism.
The event was hosted by top professionals from broadcast, print, and digital newsrooms around the country.
Congratulations to you.
The benefit? To receive feedback and learn what is it that recruiters are looking for.
So I'm looking for somebody who, again, has a love of writing, but at the same time knows how to use video to tell stories in a captivating way, in an informative way.
Nearly 60 breakout sessions were offered to students and professionals to choose from. Student Andrew Worth attended a workshop titled Job Interviews for New Grads, where he had to pass through a mock interview.
So I was definitely nervous, as you are in any interview, but he's just trying to tell you to be relaxed, know what you're doing, know what you're saying, and just be you.
The conference welcomed students from all over the United States, including Ohio University student Bethany Bella.
I wouldn't have traded this experience for the world. It was definitely something that I'm going to take back to my school and feel like I have one level up from the other students in my journalism program.
The 3-day conference gave students plenty of time to figure out whether journalism is their true passion.
So it's over now. Students are all packed to go back home. They're hoping to return next year to the conference in New Orleans. Fabiola Ramirez, Fresno State Focus.
Coming up in sports, we'll check out some Fresno State alumni that shined big on the stage this past weekend.
Plus, find out what a Zumba instructor did to help a family during its rough time. Stay tuned for sports with Keenan Tyson Sanders.
Every 4 minutes, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer like leukemia or lymphoma. Did you know you have the power to be somebody's hero, to save their life, to help cure their cancer?
By joining the Marrow Registry, you are entered into a national database where thousands of patients each year turn to find a marrow donor match. patients are more likely to match someone of the same race and ethnicity.
Like me.
Like us! To join the Marrow Registry, visit a local blood center near you.
You never know when you will get the call to save a life.
So you decided to go to Fresno State. Good for you. But you were too insecure to show Fresno State pride? That's a problem. Because you never bothered to show pride in your school, you are shunned by other students. Professors can smell the stench of impending failure on you and take no pity. Even the mass communication students agree you have no future. But all of this could have been avoided if you simply showed your pride for Fresno State.
I am Fresno State.
Fresno State pride. Show it or face the consequences.
The Bulldog volleyball team, fresh off their victory against Fresno Pacific, would try and take down their Mountain West rival San Jose State. We take you to the Save Mart Center where these two rivals will be duking it out. In the early going, Spartans held the advantage up 2-1 with a 7-point cushion. And then back came the Bulldogs. A flurry of kills pulled the Bulldogs even before the teams began exchanging points. Eventually, Fresno State led by 1 point, needing to win the set. And just take a listen to Stephen Tremblay on this call.
Man's the kill, and we're going 5. What a comeback for Fresno State. A 14-5 closing run to erase what was a touchdown deficit, and we're going 5.
Thanks to the kill by Alicia Coates. However, the Dogs, despite a valiant effort, were unable to close it out, dropping the 5th set 15-12. The team will now head to Logan, Utah to take on the Utah State Aggies tomorrow. Now let's head to the pros to see how some Fresno State football alumni fared over the weekend. We start off in Cleveland. Raiders visiting the Browns. Of course, the Raiders led by quarterback Derek Carr, one-time Bulldog great. There he is hooking up with Amari Cooper. That's become his favorite receiver thus far, his rookie receiver out of Alabama. They hooked up a lot in that win against Baltimore 2 weeks ago as well. Another thing you saw in that matchup, Carr slinging the rock like he's in his backyard. Here he is with a strike for his first touchdown to Andre Holmes. He would have another one later on in the day. Show the moves, young man. And here is that other touchdown to Seth Roberts that would put the Raiders up by 14 at that point. Carr would finish the day with 314 yards and a pair of scores as the Raiders hold on to win a tight one by a score of 27-20. Their first victory in the Eastern Time Zone since 2009. We're now going to head out to the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the 0-2 Eagles are taking on a revived Jets team. Former Bulldog Ryan Matthews would get the start. And what have we here? Stiff arming, plowing through defenders. What year is this, 2009? He also showed that he can do more than just run the ball, but can catch it as well. Watch him here on the wheel route. Beautiful catch down the sidelines, puts the Eagles up 17-0. He did have a fumble on the day, but Ryan Matthews in a relief spot has himself 108 yards on the ground and receiving touchdown to help the Eagles get their first W of the year. In 1998, Fresno, California got itself a minor league baseball team known as the Grizzlies. 17 years later, after just one playoff appearance in the team's history, they had themselves a season for the ages, resulting in both a Pacific Coast League title and a AAA championship. Well, here with us today from the Grizzlies is their GM, Derek Franks. Derek, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So first off, I know you're from Kingsburg. You grew up in Kingsburg, and we went to Fresno State. So first off, what does it mean to bring a title to Fresno?
You know, I think we had, for a number of years, we'd been with the San Francisco Giants for a long time. And as a local kid and a guy who went to Fresno State and lived in Fresno for the past 12 years, you know, I think we always wanted to be a team that was more about Fresno than our major league affiliate. So with our change to the Houston Astros, we knew we were going to have a great talent, and that was something that we could really rally Fresno around. And I think that bringing a championship to my hometown and bringing a championship to Fresno for the first time in the history of the ball club is certainly exciting for Fresno, and we're just thrilled. Most definitely. I just had to ask real quick, what did it mean having all those crazy promotions throughout the year, getting everybody out? You had a record attendance for Fresno Taco Night, for the Taco Truck Throwdown. How much did that play into this season being a success for the Grizzlies? Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at our organization prior to this season, we were doing a lot of marketing for our big league affiliate, and so when we signed with the Houston Astros, we knew we had a chance to reinvent ourselves as an organization and really be a Fresno first team. We were wearing Fresno on the front of our uniform this year as opposed to the team name, and that really made us dig deep in our creative pockets and go, what can we do to make this the most fun team in the country to go see a baseball game at? And that's how you get Fresno Tacos and Franken Slice and some of the great promotions we had this year.
And they were perfect. Derek Franks, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you for
I
having
know
me.
We had to cut our time short. Back to you, Siklali and Jonathan.
From all of us here at Fresno State Focus, thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope you have a great night.